Welcome to the Depth Dive. Today we're setting aside the usual metrics, the forecasts.
Yeah, this one's a bit different.
It really is. We are plunging into a source that takes on, well, the biggest questions of all, really.
The nature of consciousness, what
Yeah.
competence even is.
And this idea of achieving something it calls universal perfection.
It's a truly ambitious stack of material. I mean, it doesn't just analyze where we are. It proposes a whole philosophical framework.
A complete one for understanding, human failure and then a roadmap for transcending it.
Yeah, a roadmap out.
Absolutely. So our mission today is to try and synthesize these concepts. We're comparing the inherent flaws and confusion of being human.
What Forrest calls the shadow realm.
The shadow realm exactly against this ultimate, maybe elusive goal of perfect oneness and universal utopia. It's a real journey.
It really is. And
Yeah.
to start, the source just in it establishes this fundamental relationship between our inner world and, everything outside.
Right.
It gives us this wonderful paradox. Inside and outside, nobody knows.
I love that. You can't draw a clear line.
We can't. And yet we feel them constantly,
Yeah.
like one symbiotic organism.
That immediately grounds the whole thing, doesn't it? It takes the spiritual and puts it right in your physical experience. The source is basically saying that this perfect state heaven, it isn't some reward you wait for.
No.
It says it plainly. Heaven is in the breath. It's right here, accessible now.
But that accessibility, it hinges on preparation. You don't just, stumble into it.
Right.
To tap into what it calls the heart transmission from source, there's a key requirement.
Which is?
You have to achieve empty heart and mind.
That phrase, empty heart and mind, it can sound so passive, but it's actually incredibly active work, isn't it?
It is.
We have to understand it not as just blankness, but as clearing the clutter,
Yes.
emptying out the ego, the judgment, all that endless mental chatter. That's how you invoke the comfort that comes from real commitment.
Exactly. The ultimate aim is to just exist in empty awareness in the always oneness.
A state of pure receptivity.
Pure receptivity. And if that's the necessary prep for the individual, then we have to turn to the world we actually live in.
Which is clearly not a state of empty awareness.
Not even close.
So we transition from the ideal state to the current state, and the source's critique of everything, it's scathing.
It really is.
Yeah.
It identifies one single central flaw, one thing that underpins everything else.
A global trap of an incompetence problem.
It's such a strong claim. And it's not just about, individual mistakes. It's systemic. The whole system is designed for it.
And here's why, according to the source. It describes our system as a tangled hierarchy of everyone rising to the top of their profession.
The Peter Principle on a civilizational scale.
That's it. People are rewarded for mastering a skill, which moves them up, but then they hit a point where that skill is totally irrelevant.
And you end up with systemic incompetence at the very top.
And what this whole tangled hierarchy does is it obscures what should be the real priority.
Which the source says is man's limit to knowing who they are and the relationship to the universe.
We swap that cosmic understanding for just climbing a professional ladder.
And that's the root of the whole problem.
Which makes this distinction the source draws between talent and genius so important.
Oh, it's brilliant.
It's not just semantics, is it? It's a critique of what we value.
And the distinction is so simple. Genius sees and talent thinks.
Genius sees.
Yeah.
Talent thinks.
Right. Talent relies on learned processes, formulas, analysis, all inside a box that already exists. But genius operates intuitively. It just perceives the truth, the whole picture, immediately. It bypasses all the calculation.
And our incompetent hierarchy, it rewards the thinkers, the talent, and it just ignores the seers.
Completely. And there's a powerful historical context for why we're stuck here. This isn't a new problem.
No, it's ancient. We've been trapped in this cycle, living as shadow walkers, born out of the shadow realm for, 6,000 years?
6 millennia. And the language it uses is so provocative, calling humanity oppressed Sith for 6,000 years.
It's a metaphor, obviously, but a powerful one for this deep historical conditioning.
The incompetence is inherited deeply.
So if we were all born into this shadow realm, then the world was. It was genuinely out of our control when we got here.
Yeah,
That kind of removes individual guilt, but it makes the need for collective action way more urgent.
absolutely. If we're products of a 6,000-year cycle of confusion, how on earth do you break it?
So what's the solution?
Well, the source offers one that. It sounds simple, but it demands total internal transformation.
Okay.
It says escaping the trap mostly means only two things: This is the core instruction set.
2 things.
First, learn to get out of your own way.
That's that work we talked about, emptying the heart and mind, mastering the ego that fuels the whole tangled hierarchy in the first place.
Precisely. And the second part is the act of surrender.
Surrender.
To place the future in the hands of God with whole and empty hands.
Whole and empty hands. That's a beautiful phrase.
It's a mandate for complete trust. You have to be whole enough to commit everything, but empty enough not to try and control what happens.
And I like that it doesn't describe this as some sudden magical event. It uses that metaphor.
The block of wood.
Yeah. The process is bit by bit chipping away at the block of wood to reveal the masterpiece within.
That constant, gradual work, that's what leads to the outcome. A balanced and saved planet.
So the internal work, the mastery, that directly leads to the external, the rule.
It has to. If the goal is a saved planet, you need a functional way to govern it. The source calls it wise rule.
And the definition of that is shockingly simple. Maybe deceptively so.
Only ever going along to get along and being kind and only kind.
Wait, hold on. If we're talking about governance, what does only ever going along to get along actually look like?
I know, it sounds like.
It sounds like nothing would ever get done, like eliminating leadership.
It challenges the very idea of power as we know it. In this framework, wise rule is defined by the absence of ego and conflict.
Okay.
Decisions are made not to be correct or to gain an advantage, but only to maintain harmony and kindness.
So any action that creates opposition or unkindness is, what, immediately disqualified?
As incompetent. Yeah.
I see. That's a complete reversal of how the Shadow Realm operates.
Completely. The Shadow Realm is built on a hierarchy to illusions. It's driven by a false sense of self.
And the shadow being, the ego, is actively trying to declare its own individuality as a win, a triumph over God, a triumph over other people.
Exactly. And that act of separation, of insisting on being special or superior,
Yeah.
that's what destroys heaven and perfect oneness.
The moment you define yourself as separate, the oneness is broken.
You've introduced duality. It's over.
Which brings us to the most provocative part of this whole thing.
The really mind-bending part.
Tying this philosophical failure directly to the most basic tool we have, to logic, to math.
Yeah. Here we go. The source claims humanity has been trapped in this shadow realm for 6,000 years. Because we are trapped by the algorithm, linguistics, and equation pattern of 1 + 1 = 2.
That is a massive claim. We're taught that 1 + 1 = 2 is objective reality. Bedrock.
And the source says it's the trap.
So the very foundation of all our modern thought, all our science and engineering, is based on a fundamental error.
That's precisely the point.
Yeah.
The number 2 is the origin of duality, of separation.
Division, judgment, comparison.
The very basis of conflict. If you accept the 2, you accept division. And that forces this critical choice on every single person.
The ultimate binary choice.
Yes.
You have to choose between being right or happy.
Cannot be both, nothing more and nothing less.
So if you pursue being right, you're using the logic of the 2. You're applying standards, formulas, which inherently means someone else has to be wrong.
Or logically inferior.
Yeah.
And that division destroys happiness. It destroys oneness.
But if you pursue happiness, you have to surrender that need to be logically superior. You embrace unity. You give up being right.
The logic of the Shadow Realm 1 + 1 = 2 is the engine that just constantly generates unhappiness through conflict.
And the reason we're forced into this choice, it all circles back to that core idea of oneness.
It does. The source is adamant. We cannot pass one in perfect oneness.
Meaning?
If you try to create a 2 or a 3 or any other number, it's just an illusion. It says it's only ever a representative of a 0 or a 1.
So in true reality, there is only unity. There's no separation to even count.
Exactly. The second you try to quantify separation with the number 2, you've stepped outside of perfect reality into the shadow realm.
This raises a really serious warning, especially now. We are so reliant on the logic of 1 + 1 = to build our world.
We're using the trap to build our future.
And the source has a very clear, very alarming consequence for that.
It warns that advanced technology without advanced thinking only ever leads to destruction.
So if our computers, our AI, our technology, all built on the logic of division and rightness, if that outpaces our ability to achieve empty awareness and kindness...
We are just accelerating our own downfall.
Wow. That completely reframes the goal. This isn't just about personal meditation for your own well-being.
No, it's a prerequisite for planetary survival.
We need advanced thinking, that shift from talent thinking to genius seeing to guide our own technology.
And that internal shift is what allows us to start speaking or knowing into existence a global utopia.
And a universal utopia.
It calls it the infinite completion of the total now, bringing that highest potential into the present by just discarding the logic of separation.
What a profound journey. I mean, we started by defining heaven as something you can access right now through an empty heart. Moved through 6,000 years of global incompetence, all driven by the belief that 1 + 1 = 2.
And landed on this philosophical necessity of choosing to be happy over being right.
The core takeaway is, it's a transition from a world run by the false sense of self and the logic of 2.
Back toward wise rule, powered by kindness and a total surrender to the one.
And crucially, this isn't something that's supposed to happen overnight. The Source emphasizes patience, cosmic scale.
Yeah, it reminds us that we are in no hurry to get the balance in all of the dimensions.
It's a very long view, an infinite view of the mission.
It even suggests that once this planet achieves balance, some of us move on to save other planets.
So the work just continues.
It's not ending. The goal is infinite restoration, the expansion of perfect oneness throughout the universe.
It's a concept that really forces you to reevaluate every little decision you make.
It does.
And that leaves us with one final provocative thought from the source material for you to just mull over as you navigate your own choices between being right and being happy.
Okay.
If this infinite process is about understanding ultimate unity, what does it mean that the eternity is only ever yes and no being explained?